Hello everyone, welcome to the Campfire. My name is Joe, and today we'll be looking at the family of terror, Spirit, and the Oni from Dead by Daylight. I'll be doing another video on the Oni, but for now, we will be focusing on the Spirit and literal focusing on the Oni because he plays a little bit of part on how this all plays out. So, let's begin. After killing his father and hating being called Omi Yamioka, Kazan roamed the land with his father's voice in his head, somewhat haunting him, reminding him of failures, and bringing him into his ferocious blood fury state. Walking in the woods one day, he passed a statue of an Oni. But he stops, and he realizes it's laughing at him, ridiculing him, calling him a hypocrite. Telling him, son, you're not looking at a statue. This is more like a mirror. He realizes this, and he's not happy with who he is, so he destroys and makes quick work of this mirror. Generations pass and move on to the last generation. Rin Yamioka and her mother and father in the House of Horror. The Yamioka estate. Rin was an average schoolgirl and part of the Yamioka bloodline. Rin started to go to a private university, but this made the family's finances starting to decay very rapidly. To make it worse, that same year, Rin's mother got ill. Rin, feeling sympathy and a sense of responsibility for both her mother and her father, started working part-time to help lighten this load. The bills were bringing the family more and more into a debt that they couldn't repay, so the family had to settle for cheap fixes to maintain the house. But this awakened something that was in this family for generations. A blood fury or a rage waiting for a chance to wake up. The father hoping for a promotion or any sign of hope so he could get this debt repaid. But sadly, the Yamioka's debt can never be repaid. He started working double shifts, but he couldn't sleep. Just like the Oni in his father's voice, a dark voice was keeping him up. And what is cool is it's not referred to as the entity in the game, so it's not the entity. But this is more personal. This is family. What is referred to as the Yamioka curse, a curse that will end tonight at this house. The father was constantly fighting to deny the voices the accusation made, a desperate attempt finally to talk to his higher-ups to tell them what is going on and ask anything. He was denied, and even more, he was blamed for a production line that was failing recently. One could argue that production line could be a reference to the bloodline. And he was fired after 21 years. That night, it was a cold evening. Rin stays at work to entertain guests before heading home, and she parks her bike in a shed. She heads home expecting to see her family. She parked her bike, and she heard a shriek. She instantly knew it as her mother's. She can only imagine. She's thinking that her mother and father is in trouble and she has to go in there. She rushes in to at least do something, running up the stairs and into her parents' room. She finds pieces of her mother scattered around and sliced up. She starts to gag and starting to wonder who could do this. Wonder if her father is okay. And a katana slices down and surprises her and she blocks it. To see her father wielding the family's blade against her own daughter. Fight breaks out. She starts running, and through all this, she's starting to process what is going on. She starts to imagine the cuts that he made on her mother, and she starts to think about that. She starts to struggle against her father, ending in her thrown out the window, landing in the ground. Glass covered her. She starts to hear the footsteps of her father approach her, and at this moment, she finally processed everything. Through this process, anger awakens in Rin Yamioka. And this anger is so powerful that through it, she made an oath of vengeance against her father. This was the day that the Yamioka curse and the Yamioka bloodline finally died. Thank you guys so much for watching. And if you enjoyed this video, let me know and I shall do another one. But thank you guys for joining me, and I'll see you guys later.